Have you ever wondered what would RimWorld be like if I had more than 5 or 6 ragtag colonists, maybe even a whole army to fight off these massive raids that my colony keeps getting? Well, today, my friends, I am here to show you what that would be like. We have an entire army at our disposal with some pretty decent armor and some charge rifles. But I hear you say to yourself, Rat Knight, an entire army with this wonderful technology? They're going to be unstoppable. It's going to be extremely OP. Yeah. That's the point. Anyhow, though, let's get started. Every one of our soldiers is going to be named Lions. Why? I don't know. It's an auto-generated name, and I just copy and pasted the character. Every single one of the soldiers has a 5 in every single skill as to not make them too overpowered, though realistically we're not going to be surviving or anything. We're just going to see how unstoppable a little army of this size really is. So we were shooting at some ancient ruins, the side of some hills, to try to find out just how powerful we were, and then we found a worthy opponent, a squirrel, scampering around on the ground, so we blasted it into hell, and that was the end of that. But now with our arch nemesis, the squirrel, dead, what do? Well, we done the only rational thing, the same thing that the European powers done in their colonial times. We found some natives, and we didn't make friends. I'm not gonna lie, that joke was a bit too real for this channel. Yeah, sure, we make jokes like that constantly, but nonetheless, I still feel kind of bad about making it, even if it is still pretty accurate. Anyhow, though, a little bit later, we finally arrived at the tribespeople's base, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was extremely nervous that these tribespeople were gonna... I'm just kidding. Do you see our army? I'm just playing. Obviously, we're going to eradicate them easily. Did I say eradicate? I actually meant liberate. There's oil in the ground. There's some bad guys here or something. Weapons of mass destruction, and we're going to find them. So we had our 50 strong soldiers march through the pouring rain to this sovereign nation of tribespeople to knock on their door, presumably, and we were simply going to ask them nicely if they had any weapons of mass destruction, but one of them, I don't know, he looked at us funny or something. So, me, personally, I just couldn't let that slide. So I ordered the soldiers to go in, and anybody that got in their way got the shit stomped out of them with our laser rifles, and we began looking for the weapons. Besides, I know how much the RimWorld community loves to see war crimes. Wow, you guys sure are a bunch of sickos. Technically I'm the one committing these atrocious acts in this game, but you guys support me, and that's at least 100 times worse. You make me sick. I'm just kidding. You guys are awesome. You guys are so awesome, in fact, that you've already liked, subscribed, and hit the bell. You did do that, right? Oh, you did? Okay, good. Let's continue. Now, unfortunately, it looks like our intel about the weapons of mass destruction was a tiny little hair off, and turns out there were none there. Whoopsie daisy. Let's go look somewhere else. We decided to travel to a local Outlander base. Surely they have some weapons of mass destruction, or if not, I'm sure one of them maybe stole a candy bar from a store as a child, and thus we're going to have to punish the entire settlement. Or maybe every single one of them are innocent. But look, I don't know what to tell you, okay? We're here to kill people. We're not here to make friends. Now, these Outlanders were armed with some better weaponry than the tribespeople. I know, shocking. But unfortunately, we're still going to have to blast them into oblivion. This local herd of gazelle even had the great honor of being blessed by our presence as we marched against the Outlanders. Good God, what I'd give to be one of those gazelle right now. Lucky bastards. I'll tell you who wasn't lucky, though, the damn Outlanders, because as soon as they came within range of our army, we just started blasting. We were cleaning the crud from between their ears with our charged blast. I don't know how that makes sense, but we killed a bunch of them, and we literally hardly took any scratches from them or the tribespeople. Obviously, the tribespeople didn't have very good technology, but the Outlanders, they had some decent weapons from the, I believe it's the Gun Nut mod. Also, I want to mention in this, while I'm thinking about it, you can find all the mods we're using here in the description of the video, in every single video that I make that uses mods. Except for the really old videos, but we won't talk about those. Anyhow, though, unfortunately, the Outlanders also didn't seem to have any weapons of mass destruction. Very unusual, although we did see some of them look at us the wrong way, or I'm sure they've done something slightly terrible in their life at maybe one point. So we slaughtered everyone there, destroyed all the turrets, and burnt down their home, essentially. But you know who might possibly, just maybe, have some oil, weapons of mass destruction? The Empire. I bet they have a whole stockpile, so we're going to go and find out. We arrived, and it looked like their Imperial sensors had detected the army nearby because they were not too happy to see us. In fact, they actually started firing mortars at us, and that wasn't very cash money of the Empire at all. You know what? Just for that, we're not even going to bother asking nicely. We're just going to start slaughtering them. They had no reason. Well, maybe they heard about us killing all the tribes people and the Outlanders, but you know what? We didn't know that. So once again, we opened up a fine, crisp, carbonated can of whoop-ass. But look, I don't want you to think that we're a horrible nation or something like that this army's come from. We're good people. The entire time we were shooting at them, we were asking, where are the bombs? Where are the bombs? They just couldn't hear us over all the gunfire, and because the majority of them were already dead. But we did manage to find one weapon of mass destruction. Turns out one of our people actually had it on them. Oh, what a silly mistake. But only one thing left to do. Let's fire it at them. And I want to take this time to kind of mention that I am actually just kind of ad-libbing this shit as it comes to my head. There is a later part in the video where I put up an American flag. So this is in no way intentionally trying to mock the United States, even though George Bush was the one that done the stuff with weapons of mass destruction. But it wasn't intentional. I was just being stupid earlier when I said that. I kind of forgot that I put up the flag at the end. So, it was kind of a coincidence. But, I've been having so much fun with our army, I think they need a bit of an upgrade. So I introduce to you Lions 2.0. I know, yeah, it's going. All right, calm down. Thank you. Now anyhow, Lions 2.0 has all bionic body parts. I also made the executive decision to increase all of his skills from 5 to 6. I know, a little controversial, but I thought it might be fun. So of course, naturally, I copy and pasted Lions 2.0 all around until we had a good number of them. I did also leave the original dual wielding his rifles, that way we can tell him apart from the others. He's kind of like our leader. But of course, an army of this size, tribes, people, and outlanders just would not do. We would have to fight the best of the best. We would have to fight the mech hive, so I spawned in the biggest raid that I could of the mech hive. But Lions 2.0 and all of his brethren, Lions 2.0 also, were not impressed at all. They began firing upon the mechanoids, and the mechanoids just started dropping like flies. Piss poor, pathetic flies. And if you couldn't tell, while our army was defeating the mechanoids, my computer was kind of smelling burnt toast. It was having a little bit of a stroke due to all the pawns being spawned. But this was just the start. For what we had in store for the army to fight next would make my computer shit its little underwear. We decided to spawn in the largest raiding force that the Imperial scum had to offer. There really weren't that many people. Really, we just had so many people. I would say we had an even amount. They were riding some animals, but anyhow though, my computer is kind of dog shit and, it couldn't handle it. So I decided to speed up this clip of our army fighting off the Imperial scum. That way it looks like I'm a good YouTuber who actually has and can afford a decent computer. But don't be mistaken, because I'm not, and I cannot. But of course, we made quick work of the Imperial scum, and they began fleeing. The cowards! What? This isn't what we wanted. We wanted a battle for the ages. We wanted to slaughter their entire bloodline, their lineage. So I decided to spawn in 50 Imperials wearing cataphract armor, all carrying the same type of weapons with the same exact skills, so we finally have an actual challenge. The only problem was, they too were no match for our army. The cataphracts also began dropping extremely quickly. It was a disaster. We wanted an actual challenge. They all started hitting the ground, and their acidifier thing in their brains started turning them into a green goo, and the only thing that was left was their cataphract helmets. Those are nothing but paperweights to us. But it wasn't from lack of trying. The cataphracts tried their little hearts out. It's just, we had the best weapons, the best armor, our entire bodies were bionic. It wasn't their fault that they stood no chance. And truly, I think the only person that could defeat us was us. So I decided to have the original Lions 2.0 start chucking some grenades at a nuclear warhead so we could finally die and end our horrible existence. But even after doing this, the majority of us were still alive. Well, maybe not the majority of us, but at least a good bit of us. And to be honest, this was kind of just a test for me to see how tough they really were. Some of them were at ground zero when this went off and are still alive. Some of them were even still able to walk. But I didn't want to end the episode here with me trying to kill as many of our super soldiers as humanly possible, especially after watching them kick so much ass throughout this video, so I decided the only way to end the episode was with a boom. So I created a little bit of lore. We'll say that good old Uncle Sam contracted these soldiers to take some doomsday rocket launchers down to the Pig People's settlement and claim it in the name of liberty and pursuit of happiness? Manifest destiny? Sure. Naturally, of course, as our army went to line up their shot with their rocket launchers, the Pig People began firing at us with their turrets as well as just whatever weapons they had. Unfortunately, though, for them, this would do nothing. Since their weapons didn't even make a scratch or a dent in our army, they were completely unable to stop what happened next. We completely blew their asses all the way back to the Bronze Age, you know what, the Stone Age, and left nothing but some fire and some cancer-causing chemicals in the air. But now, with all the guilty pig people dead, there was but one thing left to do. Claim this territory in the name of America. We let the original Lions 2.0 have the high and great honor of planting the American flag. But I think we've done a really good job of showcasing just how powerful an army in RimWorld is. Now this, of course, is a very high-tech modded army. Maybe we'll do some videos in the future about like medieval armies or something like that, if you guys would like that. Or even just vanilla. But be sure to let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. I love you, and I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.